Assalamu alaikum. Thank you and welcome back. This is Faraz Khan. Again, we're here discussing fresh principles for better 2021 finance, relationship, education, spirituality, and health. So, better in all five of these categories. And I am here trying to work with you as personal development program that we've been following along. This is week 2, and today is Thursday. So we're going to be ending the second week and then going into spirituality and health. Those are the two upcoming segments. But today, education is one of the most challenging, fun, and a pillar of our life that often is neglected by people once they reach a certain age factor or certain age group. So we're gonna get started. Anyways, I'm going to go quickly over what is L2GG. All right, pardon me there. Fresh, we're going to talk about education, and we've talked about in the introduction segment of it, live to give and grow, right? This is the idea behind what we're trying to achieve. It's not about the person with most toys, right? This is not what the idea is all about. So I'm here to help you see some of these formulas, some of these ideas on growth. Now, education in a nutshell, how you could give back, right? Or how you could give is in two ways. And that is you give with your character and you give with your knowledge. These are the two basically things that you could reduce your giving to. And many people say, what about the wealth? Well, that's your character. That's generosity. That's something that's within you that enables you to give monetary, financial things, give gifts of monetary value. So remember that one. And obviously, knowledge is something that we utilize. It's helpful in the marketplace and helping others as well. So continue to move forward. This is again a 3-week program. We're going to continue with finance. We had done work with finance, relationship, and today's education. I want to tell you what happens when a lot of people, what keeps them growing in terms of their education and in terms of their learning. And life catches up on people, and they become focus on one aspect, or maybe they're just so out there that they don't realize what they're doing in terms of the demands, everyday demand on their schedule, whether it's their kids, children, whether it's the college that they're going to, whether it's the it's the financial burden that's on them that they need to take care of, that they kind of throw away all the plans. So this is what you have to really look into. You grow, right? You become more educated, you learn more when your excuses shrink. So remember that. Just stop with your excuses. If you want to be a person who grows and become somebody who is phenomenal in their field of studies, no excuses. You have to just take the responsibility, put your time into it. Number 2, judgment of others. That's what really keeps people from growing, because they're too busy criticizing other people. Look at that imam, look at that scholar, look at that coworker, look at that boss, look at that manager. They're just too busy. And it's like, when are you going to focus on yourself? And so again, the judgment of others, that's what keeps people from growing. So you have to stop doing all these things if you find yourself to be one of those. And to a certain degree, we all of us could relate with them, because we do find doing these things sometimes. Low self-esteem, right? This is the other one that I want to talk about. There's only one way to have better self-esteem, is to be estimated by elevating your game. You have to read, write, study, and grow. That's the only way you could have self-esteem and confidence. Confidence comes from doing the right thing over and over and over again. All right. And the other thing that I want to mention, mentor. A lot of people, they're in their career, they're in their profession, 20, 30 years into it, and they're like, retirement plan kind of understanding or looking to that. You have to grow. You have to have life partners, parents, or even coworkers as your managers or supervisors as your mentors. The moment you take a mentor, the mentor could show you, especially for younger people, mentor could show you what's ahead in terms of 10, 20, 30 years, in front of you. So they could help you go from point A to point B very quickly. And I've seen that at work, where people who have taken great mentors, who have reached out to them, their career has grown exponentially, as opposed to somebody who just minds his business or her business and goes into their office space and does their thing, and really doesn't socialize, doesn't really reach out to people for help. That's where you don't grow as much. And so you need people around you. You need to have that circle of friends and mentors and people who are going to cheer you on, lead and show you the path. The other thing is the fear of being ridiculed or failure. That's, you have to just, put your mind to it and say, you know what, I'm going to fail. If not now, somewhere down the road. But it's how you take the failure. Failure is not a synonym for you, like you are a failure. That's not the idea. You fail, but then you grow from that. Maybe perhaps you have had episodes where you didn't perform up to your ability, or you thought you could do better. But don't take that as like a frozen moment of your life. Like this is what defines you. No, move on, do things, do it better. Study, get back on your feet, and go over and keep trying. That's the idea. And then the other thing, why people don't, what keeps people from growing and learning, is this idea of home run mentality. I could just do it, one night of study, right? If I just read this book, this summary, it doesn't happen. You have to continuously strive, consistently put your time into it and grow. And then the other thing is, last one thing at a time. Remember, distraction is simply two or more things at a time. So I wanted to just identify things that keep people from growing. And having said that, education is such a central part. People think education is for children. This is not what we're talking about. As grown people, as grown men and women, life is not supposed to be a piece of cake that you eat up. Okay? Life is a challenge that would test you mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, to find out if you're truly an amazing individual. And that's what you have to do. You have to, one thing at a time, keep striving, don't get down, okay? Or at least for not too long, okay? Get back up again and keep moving, all right? So just wanted to identify that. Now I want to talk about this, what type of education? And let me just get this stuff right. Okay, what type of education? And this is the understanding that I have. When we're talking about education, we're talking about, whole circle of life. It comes from life skills, like learning how to socialize, compete with people in terms of studies and education, citizenship, how to be better people, organizational skills, how to take criticism, how to critique other things or other people and their actions, discipline, money matters, right? So these are life skills that one has to learn. And if you haven't done that, there are people who don't know how to talk to other people. It's like they would rather go for like root canal than sit in a gathering and talk to human beings, right? There are people like that, and so this fear, it just keeps on growing unless we develop these skills. These are life skills that we should be paying attention to. Number two, communication. Everyone, if you're going to be somebody who's going to be a remarkable person, a person who's going to have a lot of influence, you need to learn one of the three. And where does it start? Either you must master writing skills or speaking skills, and it's good to have both of them, obviously. Or the third one is teaching skills. These are the three, and rarely you would find people who have all three. People who are good writers tend not to be, this is just what I've experienced, the great speakers. And people who are teachers They could have great writing skills, but sometimes they don't have good oral or speaking skills. So this is something that you have to commit to in terms of your education. Don't think your BS and MS and or MA or PhD, or MD or whatever you are, that's enough. No, there's more room for you to grow. And education is something you don't you don't like spend time away from. You put, and this is the first thing first. You have to invest in yourself. You have to invest, and how do you do that? With education. The third thing I want to talk about is religious ethics, or it could be personal ethics. And this type of education, you have to enhance morals, character, truth, love, generosity. I'm going to talk about a little bit of four cardinal virtues, and that's really kind of like forgotten, with the perspective that we have today. But religious ethics, when we're talking about being a good citizen, being a good person, being honest, somebody that we could trust, we could speak with, so we could do business, we could, educate and learn from each other. Somebody who's not a trustworthy person, you can't deal with that person, because it's very difficult to even understand that personality and where they're coming from. So religious ethics or personal ethics, that has to be learned. It has to be enhanced. That's what it is. I mean, you have that internal, obviously, but you have to enhance all these fields, and that's what education is about. Education is about enhancing who you are, becoming better. Certain things, vocational education, technical skills, these are obviously very helpful. I've met people who are PhDs and MDs, and they cannot put a nail in their wall or put a screw, even if they wanted to. And so, you have to have some sort of basic technical, how to fix things, how to do things, that type of training as well. How to sew. If something rips up, can you help with your, in terms of your children or your siblings, or can you sew your own button or pants or something like that if it rips? These are skills that are very helpful in life, and these are some things that we should be giving our children, the next generation. And this whole idea of do-it-yourself culture, I think it's a positive thing. So this type of education is very important. Lastly, professional education. And I put that lastly, why, and this is really about, if vocational stuff is, if a person's fixing a car, they only know how to fix these things and how these things work, how to make it right. But they don't understand why things, or how, understanding of how they work, in terms of what's the background, what's the science behind it. They may fix a car, but they are not, mechanical engineer, let's just say. They haven't studied engineering and how physics and chemistry and other subjects work, right? So that's where you've learned that. Now it's time for you to enhance your field, and it's time for you to contribute in your field. All right, and how do you do that as a professional? How do you contribute in your own field? And this is one of the amazing things that I want you to pay attention to. Many people, they have average career, right? You know why they have average career? Because they read books, they attend presentations, ideas and policies, they manage these, at work. Training, they always receive training, and they're doing great in their career. They think they're doing good. Service, they implement, right? So they implement all these new things that are there. But if you want to have an exponential growth in your career, this is my understanding of things, is that books, you just don't read only. You also write books. Presentations, not only you attend, but you also give presentations. Policies and ideas in terms of work-related stuff, not only you manage, you introduce new ones, you create ones, you come up with things. Training, give training, not simply receive, stand up and do the training as well. So these are all ideas that I want you to pay attention to. So this way, you keep moving forward with the education and understanding that's there. Last few minutes that I have, how to become more influential. Learn your field of study, read, attend lectures, interact, and teach. Write on your expertise, obviously speak on your expertise, right? Those are the two communication skills we've talked about, and teaching is the third. Find your tribe, people who have similar interests and want to develop an expertise like yourself. Find these people where they are, and learn from, create that circle, social network, group of people who could do that. Create content, focus on your expertise. Read and know experts in your field and know their opinions, right? Know the philosophies and theories that are out there, and have a student first attitude, right? So these are some of the things I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna go very quickly over this. I really don't have much time on this. 4 cardinal virtues. Unfortunately, this is what people have always talked about: the classical Greco-Roman philosophy, Christian theology, St. Thomas Aquinas. Even Muslim scholars have taken from these 4 basic character traits: wisdom, prudence, justice, fortitude, which is courage, and temperance, discipline, right? These are the things that we should be learning about and paying attention to. The next one, components of a great conversation. I will talk about it very briefly. Smile and greet people, listen and appreciate, focus on your audience, the person who you're listening to and you're talking to, and their needs, not yourself. Ask good questions, and what are you all about? Ask questions, what are you passionate about, and share that with them. Tell a story if you need to, right? And this is how, it doesn't have to be like, there was a king long time ago. It could be, this is what happened to me yesterday. What do you think what I did wrong? Or, however, ask questions, tell a story. Conversation equals your opportunity to learn and grow. This is how we should take conversation. It's time for you to take something from this individual that you're speaking with. And obviously, I want to talk about awkward moments and bad conversation. Don't go there. This is what happens. A lot of people don't realize. Did they ask about your salary, or you just want to drop it on the first, sentence, or every time they mentioned anything? I'm not impressed by the cost to fix at your home or items you purchase. This is not the place, especially if you're talking to person first time. If you're not, like best buddies, don't bring in money. Commend your host if you attend somebody's house, beautiful home, and thank them for for hospitality, right? That's just social etiquette 101. Talk social issues as opposed to political issues that are divisive in nature, to start a conversation. So try to avoid those religious, political, which imam do you follow, right? Is it good to follow madhab or not? What's the tasawwuf? That's great. If you have friends who follow that, awesome. Go along with it. But others may not have those similar interests. So know their interests first before you start dropping, taqleed and other issues that come with it. Stop blaming the weather, politicians, taxes, traffic. Just be positive when you're talking to people, and that's what a good conversation is about. Okay, being positive, helping people. Even on your birthday, you're not the center of attention. Sorry, people are focused on themselves, so get over yourself, please. People fret about as to how they look, or their makeup is perfect or not, or shoes are right. Nobody notices these things except you, by the way. So, last slide. Thank you so much for listening again. Your education defines you. Learn about yourself, master your emotions, and the field of studies you call a profession. Make sure you master it. If you're a student, beat your competition twice the amount of studies. Put your time into it. You would never regret, any minute that you put into personal education or career education. You are in charge of yourself, no others. Stop complaining. Stop pointing fingers. Get up and study. Greatness is only a matter of time for those who commit to personal mastery. Thank you and have a good day. We will follow up next week with spirituality, and you're going to have really different approach to spirituality, I promise. And I hope you enjoyed this one. Let's keep working. Comment below if you really like it. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.